Hi friends, in the last session we started the concept is types of inheritance in Python, right? So we are discussing about the types of inheritance in Python. So first of all we have to understand what is inheritance. Okay, inheritance means the concept of inheriting the properties from one class to another class. Okay, so first of all inheritance it means the concept of inheriting the properties from one class to another class is nothing but what inheritance. Okay, there are six types of inheritance. Okay, there are six types of inheritance. So what those are: single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, hybrid inheritance, and cyclic inheritance. These are the six types of inheritance. Okay, so we discussed up to hierarchical inheritance. Okay, we discussed up to hierarchical inheritance. Okay, next we have to discuss about multiple inheritance, hybrid inheritance, and cyclic inheritance. Okay, these three inheritance now we have to discuss, right? Friends, if you are watching my channel for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. It gives me more encouragement for next videos. Okay, next I will create the videos on data science libraries like pandas, numpy, and matplotlib. Okay, please subscribe to my channel if you are watching my channel for the first time. And if you are having any questions or queries, please post your query in the comment section or reach out to my email id in the given description. Okay, definitely I will help you for your queries. Okay, next. So single inheritance means the concept of inheriting the properties from one class to another class is nothing but single inheritance. With respect to single inheritance, this is the program. Next, multi-level inheritance. I'm taking one parent class instance method, child class instance method, and a subchild class instance method. So I'm creating the object for subchild class method, and I'm accessing all instance methods of above parent classes. Right? So this is nothing but what a multi-level inheritance. Next, hierarchical inheritance. The concept of inheriting the properties from one class into multiple class which are present at the same level. Okay, which are present at the same level is known as a hierarchical inheritance. Clear? The concept of inheriting the properties from one class into multiple class which are present at the same level is known as a hierarchical inheritance. So with respect to that, this is the sample program. Okay. Now up to now we have discussed. Now we have to discuss about the multiple inheritance. Okay. Now we have to discuss about the multiple inheritance. Multiple multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. Okay. Multiple inheritance. Right. So multiple inheritance means the concept of inheriting the properties from multiple class into single class. Okay, the concept of the concept of inheriting. Okay, the concept of inheriting the properties. Okay, properties. The concept of inheriting the properties from multiple classes into a single class at a time. Okay, the concept of inheriting the properties from multiple class into a single class at a time is known as multiple inheritance. Okay, is known as a multiple inheritance. Okay, the concept of inheriting the properties from multiple class into single class at a time is known as a multiple inheritance. Okay, so multiple inheritance, how we can define? Just observe one diagrammatic representation, then you will get much clarity. Okay, in the last session we discussed the hierarchical inheritance, right? So in the same way it is the opposite. Exactly, it is the opposite. So it is one parent class and a parent one and a parent two, and here one child. Okay, parent one. Okay, parent one. parent 1. Now here parent 2. The parent 1 and a parent 2. Parent 1, parent 2, and here child. Okay, here child. So what is the concept? The concept of inheriting the properties from multiple class into single class. Multiple classes into properties from multiple class into single class at a time. Multiple class into single class at a time. Okay. So here multiple class into single class. Multiple class into single class. It is nothing but what? Multiple inheritance. Okay, which is nothing but what? Multiple inheritance. Okay, this is nothing but what? Multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. Clear? So this is with respect to diagrammatic representation. This is nothing but what? Diagrammatic representation. This is nothing but what? Diagrammatic representation. Clear? Next. This is nothing but what? Diagrammatic representation. Next, observe carefully with respect to diagram program. Okay, I'm taking one parent class. Okay, I'm taking one parent class. Parent one taking instance method. Okay, define one self parent one method. Okay, parent one method. Parent one method. Okay, parent two method. Okay, same way I'm taking parent two. Okay, parent two. In the same way, now I'm taking child. Now I'm taking child p1 comma p2. Okay, p1 comma p2. Okay, p1 comma p2. Def get def m3. Get def m3 of self. Def m3 of self. Now printing child2 method. Okay, printing what? Child2 method. Okay, child2 method. Okay, child2 method. Child2 method. Okay, so observe here carefully. Observe carefully. Now I'm creating the object for child class. Now I'm creating the object for child class. I'm creating the object for child class. I'm creating the object for child class. So now on the object reference I'm calling c dot m1 method and c dot m2 method. C dot m1 method and c dot m2 method. Okay. So observe carefully here. Okay, observe carefully here. C dot m1 and c dot m2. Okay, c dot m1 and c dot m2. But here my question is, I have taken parent one and parent two, but here I am taking parent one comma parent two. So in that I am asking m1 comma m2, m1 comma m2. So here which method it will get executed? Can you please confirm? Okay, in here which method it will get executed? Okay, here which method it will be executed? Okay, observe carefully. Observe carefully. Observe carefully here. C dot first first parent one method. Okay, parent one method. Next parent two method. Okay, next parent one method and parent two method. Now here C dot M3 method also I'm calling. C dot M3 method also I'm calling. Here parent one method and parent two and child. Okay, parent one, parent two and child method. So in the same way, just observe here. So if I'm giving P1 comma P2, okay, P1 comma P2. When I'm giving P1 comma P2, it is executing parent one, parent two. Okay, it is executing parent one, parent two. Suppose here if I'm giving P2, okay, if I'm giving P2, okay, here I'm giving P2, comma P1. Now observe the behavior. Okay, now observe the behavior. Parent one method, parent two method, and child two method. Okay, parent one method, child two method. So if we are not observing the difference, right? So in order to observe the difference, okay, in order to observe the difference, it is not recommended to execute it is not recommended to execute child dot m3. Okay, so observe here c dot m1 comma c dot m2. The c dot m1 means parent one method will execute and m2 means this one will be executed. Parent one, parent two. Okay, parent one, parent two. Okay, so okay, now observe here. Now observe here carefully. Now observe here carefully. So here now we are discussing about a multiple inheritance. This is the diagram. But here in the different cases I am taking different method. So let me take the same method P1 and P2. Okay, P1 and P2. Okay, P1 and P2. Okay, P1 and P2. Now observe the scenario. So in this case, C dot M1 and C dot M2. C dot M1 means okay. C dot M1 means it will get the chance of M1 method. Yes, it will get the chance of M1 method. So observe first output parent one method and followed by child two method. Parent one method followed by child two method. Here P1 method having instance, P2 having also same instance. But if I take P2, okay, P2 comma P1, okay, P2 comma P1, P2 comma P1, parent 2 and child 1, child 2 method. Did you observe the difference between first one and the second one? Now observe the difference one more time here. If you observe here, parent 1, child 2 method. So previously and present difference. The previously and present difference is there. Okay, that means okay, that means the theory indicates that let me write the theory now here. Let me write the theory. If the same method, okay, if the same method is inherited, okay, the same method is inherited. If the same method is inherited from both both parent classes, both parent classes, then then Python then Python will always then Python will always consider with Python will always consider Python will always consider the the order of parent classes classes in the parent classes in the declaration of parent classes in the declaration of a child in the declaration of a child classes. Okay, in the declaration of child classes. Okay, observe here the point one more time. If the same method is inherited from both parent classes, Python will always consider the order of parent classes in the declaration of child class. That means here parent one having this parent one and parent two having the same method. But here the child class, how the declaration is happening, based on that only output will decide. Okay, based on that only output will decide. That means class of C P1 comma P2. Okay, P1 comma P2 is P1 comma P2 is nothing but what P1 method will consider. Okay, P1 method will consider. Okay, P1 method will consider. So if it is in the reverse, okay, if it is in the reverse means here P1, and if it is P2, here P2 method will consider. Okay, P2 method will consider. Okay, P2 method will consider. This is nothing but what multiple inheritance. That is nothing but what multiple inheritance. Clear? Next. Okay, next concept is nothing but what hybrid inheritance. Okay, hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. Okay, hybrid inheritance. Okay, hybrid inheritance. Combination. It is normally it is combination of okay, combination of single okay single multi level okay multi level comma multiple okay multi level multiple and hierarchical okay hierarchical single multi level multiple and hierarchical inheritance. Okay, inheritance is known as hybrid inheritance. Okay, hybrid inheritance. Clear? Combination of single multi-level multiple and hierarchical inheritance is known as a hybrid inheritance. Okay, there is no programmatic wise this one, just observe the diagrammatic representation. Just observe the diagrammatic representation. Okay, so let me draw the diagram. One. Okay, so all combination. Okay, these are all combination of single multi-level multiple hierarchical inheritance is nothing but hybrid inheritance. Okay, hybrid inheritance. How means this is the diagram. Okay, how means this is the diagram. Okay, now let me represent the diagram. Arrows. So 1 2 3, next. Okay, so let me represent the arrows. Okay, so these are nothing but what a hybrid inheritance. Okay, combination of all inheritances I am representing here. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, this is nothing but what a hybrid inheritance. Okay, this is nothing but what a hybrid inheritance, right? So there is no programmatic representation. This now showing the diagrammatic representation. Okay, this is nothing but what a hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. Clear? So next, the final one is sixth one, cyclic inheritance. Okay, cyclic inheritance. Cyclic inheritance. A cyclic inheritance is nothing but the concept of inheriting the properties from one class to another class in cyclic way. The concept of the concept of inheriting the concept of inheriting the properties. Properties. The concept of inheriting the properties from one class to another class. From one class to another class. From one class to another class in cyclic way. In cyclic way. The concept of inheriting the properties from one class to another class in cyclic way. Okay, in cyclic way is called cyclic redundancy. Okay, is called cyclic inheritance. Is called cyclic inheritance. Is called cyclic inheritance. Is called cyclic inheritance. But the problem here is Python won't support. Okay, Python won't support for cyclic inheritance. Python won't support for cyclic inheritance. Python won't support for cyclic inheritance. Cyclic inheritance, of course, it is really not required. Okay, of course, of course, anyway, it is really not required. Really not required. So, why it is not required means just if you observe the diagram, then only you will get clarity why it is not required. Okay, let me take a new print. So, why it is not required means okay, I'm taking a class. So, I'm taking so so this is nothing but what a cyclic inheritance. So this is nothing but what a cyclic inheritance. It is nothing but what a cyclic inheritance, right? Cyclic inheritance. So this is nothing but what a cyclic inheritance. So how cyclic inheritance means? Suppose observe here how the example behavior will be. I'm taking class A of B. So I'm class A of B. Next pass. Class A of B pass. Next in the same way class B of A. Next pass. Okay, class B of A. Okay. So if we execute this, we'll get the error. Name error. Okay, name error. Name B is not defined. Okay, name B is not defined. Is not defined. Okay, name B is not defined. The concept of inheriting the properties from one class to Another class in cyclic way is called a cyclic inheritance. Is called a cyclic inheritance. But anyway, Python won't support for cyclic inheritance. Of course, it is not really required. Okay, this is nothing but what a cyclic inheritance. Okay, this is nothing but what a cyclic inheritance. But Python won't support a cyclic inheritance. Clear? So this is nothing but what the types of inheritance we discussed as part of inheritance concept. Okay, in the next session, I'm going to explain about the super keys. Okay, in the next sessions, I'm going to